Yeah, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another beautiful episode of The Paradigm Shift. I have been finding out that my uploads have been really corrupted, so by the time you see this, I will have fixed the issue because I've gone into every single video and uploaded and re-corrected the audio tracks. I thought that I had an easy solution out for it. Apparently, I do not. Maybe I need to be able to switch in between which ones I choose for each time that I get up to upload. But for right now, I'm going to talk to you about the decisions you make on the internet. No, not you. I really want to talk about in referendum to the idea of what us content creators go through, and what I notice about like people with larger communities and how they're unable to keep the silence from creeping into their minds at each and every time. Now I know I'm usually long-winded, I'm able to talk for a rapid period of time, so probably at this point while you're watching this video you're like, oh shit, slow down, give me a little bit of time and information. I've only told you what the video is going to be about. I haven't given you any substance yet. Breathe. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a ride for me. As I've been noticing this conversation between Ethan and Hassan, and me personally, like, I reckon, I always think about the fact that like certain people don't have certain social cues, and the more a person is famous, the more a person is ready, willing, and able to sell pieces of their self to other people for either monetary gain or for the idea of fame or for whatever ideas that they like to spread in their name. Like, I'm never one to say that people make mistakes, like, and when I say I'm never one to say people make mistakes, I'm like, people are human. You know, everybody has their own way of getting through the methodology of getting up in the morning all the way to going to bed at night. I can't ever be in the mindset of somebody else who I may think I know, who I may be in the same business with, same field, same job even. Everybody's different. And when I say cognizance, when I say like responsibility, I just remember in the back of my head that like a lot of people who grew up with a certain type of audience have never had this interaction on camera. I've never had that interaction on camera. So like the element of the novelty of the event changes your perception on it, because you are basically having to come from scraps just to figure out how to be able to survive, let alone how to anchor your conversations, your friendships, with your content. Because in the live streaming era, we're selling ourselves as content. It's really hard for me to think about getting into an argument about like Israel and Palestine over on Fortnite. Maybe COD, definitely like that Fallujah game, 6 Days of Fallujah. Like, sometimes it feels like it don't make no sense to me, you know? It's just, it's us clawing for meaning. It's us clawing for meaning. It's us clawing for a reach. Like, I'm watching people burn their relationships with one another on this, and it's just like, it's very funny that you're choosing to burn relationships when you can't ignore reality. And I feel like everybody wants to make a different reality, and as long as they scream out as loud, nobody will notice that they're clearly painting a fucked up picture. But it's like, it's whatever, man. It's whatever, man. It's whatever, man. Whatever, man. I don't give myself the credence to think in my head that like I've been through enough that like I know everybody. But like either being in New York City and living the way I lived put me in contact with enough people to cast enough about a wide enough net about how people move in certain social situations, or maybe y'all are not that clever. And because this is a novel experience for you, you have no choice but to go where it feeds you to go. Which is why I said at the beginning, I don't blame anybody for choices they make, decisions, conversations they have. When I say anybody, I mean y'all in this content creator space, because you're my new group of coworkers. It's that lost sense of self. That right there is where I think a lot of y'all don't got it. And I don't even mean that to be like to pick on you. I don't mean that for like any concern on how you might view the world. I don't mean none of that. I don't mean none of that. I just mean I think a lot of what we assume to be truth and perdition and causation and understanding empathy with casualty. You can't do that when people can literally warp their minds to say, I'm a regular 9-to-5 blue collar worker. But tonight in Hassan Piker's chat, I'm Antifash69, who decided to ask, hey, I'm just curious, is it really genocide? And being in a live atmosphere where you don't control the flow. Hey, I wanted to talk about this and that. I say go my route. I plan my streams out months in advance. This is season 4, part 2. I've been planning this shit forever. I got my assets set. It lets me breathe. I'm never on a deadline because I'm so far ahead of my schedule. There's no way to be rushing anything. That artistic sense of knowing when to put the paintbrush to the canvas is a lot different than when you get up here and you live stream. This shit right here is not easy. A lot of people who have millions of viewers on YouTube say this shit is hard. And nobody sits there and says it's hard and then qualifies why it's hard. You're already an audience member. What do I do? Every second they're just sitting there watching me, hoping that I can entertain myself. You got ideas for YouTube videos? Can you make them faster? Make YouTube videos on Twitch. I take the unorthodox approach of actually planning out my scripts, my camera angles, and when I'm gonna zoom in and when I'm gonna go out. So it feels like a little bit of a natural flow to you. You haven't noticed that even though this video has no cuts in it, it feels like this video has been cutting this entire time. You like rapid speech. You like 0.3 second pauses between every breath. So in order to hit myself into the algorithm, I simply adapted my style of live streaming to match what you expected from a TikTok reel. Did that help me keep my sanity? Because I'm still involving myself with the massive amounts of the most inhumane demon takes on the internet. And so are you. You hate the existence of every single ideal you've ever talked about because somewhere out there in that ecosphere, some weird, Ian Miles Chong and Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh and all the fucking fascists are just waiting in the wings to dissect every point, and you spent time and money and maybe even the effort of your friends to research so that you really knew what you were talking about. Well, welcome to the real world where facts do not matter. Welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the facts don't matter. And expecting everybody to have the same experiences as you. Oh, I'm good at improv. I'm good at the yes and. I'm good at the push and pull. I'm good at being able to see everybody in the crowd and understand the energy that they want to gravitate towards and what they came here for. And the fact that they spent money and the fact that they probably got kids at home that they not seeing because they wanted to see me. I gotta put everything in every single performance that I ever had because at any point, at any time, anybody could be watching and everything could be on the line. But for people that have it safe, this conversation changes. This conversation gets a little bit different. And that difference is the last piece of you that you know is you. Because everything else is just bullshit after. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Paradigm Shift. I'll see you in the next one.